is nothing that I cannot do because I got the power to make mountains move. Anything that comes my way can't stop me cause I'm on my way. All I gotta do is open up my mouth and say I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can. Yes, I can. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide, no, no. Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. 'Cause I can do anything.
I'm Antoine and Marq.
And I'm Mark Lipsy.
And we're here today with a very special message from those of us here with Bashful TV. Today, we would like to sound off about the recent incidents that's occurred in both Alton and
Orlando.
So, hear us out. Mark, you definitely have a lot that you want us to address, and I'm just so overwhelmed. It's almost overwhelming to be a black male in America today.
It's more than overwhelming. It's overpowering. It's just a lot to not know that when you walk out of the house, or hell, even if you're at home, if you're gonna make it back. And you think about the Trayvon Martins, the Sandra Bland's, the Eric Garners, who were only doing routine things, going to get tea, headed to Prairie View for your new job, and possibly selling loose cigarettes in New York. I mean, these people walked out of the house thinking that they would return, and they never did.
I have to almost laugh to keep from crying because it's so much. Like I oftentimes heard stories growing up about Emmett Till and some of the crazy things that happened during the civil rights movement, but this, for some reason, I don't know how, but it seemed like people tried to separate the two. Like this is a different time, and almost like black people are overreacting, or we're pulling the race card. And this is not a card. This is
right,
real.
because we always talk about the race card.
Yes.
You can't play something that's already in play.
Right.
Unfortunately, for people who believe that there's a race card that can be played, are you watching the same TV that we're watching? Are you looking at social media like we're looking at it? Do you have friends who've been affected by what's going on with black people in this good divided space of America that we live in? And don't get me wrong, we're not here to point fingers today. We're really here to bring awareness to what's really going on, because I think a lot of times people aren't being real with what's going on. And it's almost like they come up with excuses for why these things happen. With Sandra Bland, she shouldn't have been talking, crazy to him and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, well, we got freedom of speech, right?
Right.
And she only started talking that way after he, kind of engaged her in this verbal confrontation.
It's really interesting because people don't understand what happens when you feel insulted from an authority like a policeman. Typically when you see a police car, you want to feel safe. You don't want to feel threatened. I remember, a couple years ago, I was turning into a gas station and I was parking the car to go inside. It was I think like a BP on Poplar here in Memphis, and I didn't know, but the streets looked, it was kind of worn, but I didn't know it was a handicap place. I mean, the police officer talked to me like I had stole something. Now, let's be real. I know for a fact that police didn't have a master's degree like I had. I know for a fact that police had never worked a day in corporate America. Now I don't want to take anything away from the people who patrol our streets and keep us safe, or at least that's what they should be doing. But I don't look like a criminal. I don't look like a thug. I don't act like a thug. I don't, at least I try not to be perceived that way.
But you do realize that just the color of your skin,
right,
puts you in the same category as a quote-unquote thug or quote-unquote savage.
Right. When
these people, like you said, who are sworn to protect and serve, this is the issue we have. We don't have an issue with police officers. We have an issue that the fact that they are sworn to protect and serve us, but they're doing a little bit something askew there that's not quite what's supposed to be going on. And I've been pulled over so many times by the police.
Tell me about
in the most recent time, was at 2:30 in the morning. Like, and then he tells me, he was like, well, I need to see your license, your registration, your insurance, and all this. I was like, well, sir, I'm gonna let you see all that, but can you tell me why you pulled me over?
Right.
And it wasn't until he got all of the information he needed. He walks back to his car. He's there for 15 whole minutes. I have hot food in the car at the time at 2:30 in the morning. I got hot food. He walks back to his car to what? Write me a warning.
Wow.
Or a brake light.
I mean, it's just things like that. And I think that you watch these Facebook videos, and I've seen videos recently where there's like white men or white women who have guns and weapons in their hand, and policemen are pleading with them to act right and to surrender, and they're wrestling with them. These people are punching and hitting policemen and getting away literally with murder, or what could be potential murder. And there are no gunshots. There was no excessive use of force, no tasers. It wasn't even a chokehold. And but you got Eric Garner. I don't know 12 policemen on one guy. I mean, it was a lot.
After it's clear he's not getting up.
Right.
It's clear he's not resisting arrest. He's telling you I can't breathe, and you press down hard.
I would love to believe that people have the right to protect themselves, but is protecting yourself the same thing as killing someone, who really have not hurt you? I mean, how many of these have to happen before all of us, regardless of race and color and creed and our different backgrounds, start asking questions like, okay, what's really happening? I mean, I don't know if it's safe to say that I would have any white friends right now if my white friends were not fearing for my life, because I'm no different than anyone else that this happens to. If you like me and you love me and you think I'm an amazing person, I need you to start speaking up about these stereotypes in the workplace. I need you to start addressing them with your friends. I need you to address them with your family. If I'm your friend, if you care about me, and you
or co-worker, or neighbor,
exactly, whoever you are, regardless of what race you are, in particular though. But I have to speak specifically to white people, because I know white people love to give black people advice on how we need to mobilize our community and how we need to take ownership and responsibility of our race. And I wouldn't disagree. I think everything starts at home and everything starts with your core. But I want to say one thing to white people. If you're a white person and you're in a situation where you are surrounded in your areas with your family and your friends and people who look like you, and they're making generalized statements about people that you know better, if you don't say something, you just as wrong as the police, because that's where this stuff starts. This intimidation card and he looks threatening and thug labeling it's gone too far. And
it's worn its course.
It's worn its course. It's really not. It's not this thing that people are making it to be.
Because if all lives matter, then the police should understand that young black man who you murdered, that young black lady who you murdered, that young person that you murdered, regardless of whether they were black or Hispanic or some minority, was someone's son or daughter, or wife or child or sister or friend. And it's like, if all lives matter, then why wasn't that an issue before the trigger was pulled or before the chokehold was used excessively?
I agree. And here's the thing, I can, if I'm going to have sympathy, I can say I understand why people get frustrated when they hear the word, well, all lives matter versus Black Lives Matter. And I want to be very clear, because we've heard this. You've heard this. Several people say this. It's not that we're saying all lives don't matter, but all lives are not at stake like this. Name me 10 young white teenagers or 10 white fathers who were killed at the hand of policemen because they were selling CDs outside of a store. Name 3.
Absolutely.
Name one white woman who mysteriously came up dead in a cell. We cannot stand for it anymore as people. If you care.
Murder is murder.
Murder is murder.
Murder is murder. And if we continue to let police officers off and let them slide and give them a slap on the wrist and keys to the city, then this problem will forever be perpetuated in a society that's supposed to. We're the land of the free. And I'm thinking to myself, if we're the land of the free, then why does it seem like we're still in shackles?
Right.
Everybody understands why we're focusing on Black Lives Matter because of what happened to Alton Sterling, what happened to Philando Castile just days ago.
Right.
And if you go back, we were just talking about it's been 5 years since Trayvon Martin, and we know George Zimmerman did not get convicted. As you can see, he stays in the news for something that he's done.
We stand with you on behalf of Bashful TV.
The black dollar is very, very powerful.
Yes, it
and if
is.
we could unuse it
Right.
in ways where we do use it, we could make a big dent in how this world and society treats us.
Right, because I mean, the truth of the matter is, it's almost like, you know, no matter what happened to black people, everybody makes the black dollar because black people, we've become so privileged with the rights that we do have that we have not learned discipline. Maybe we need to go back to some old ways of putting our money in black banks or
in the mattress. I'm kidding. Y'all know what I mean.
But if you do put on the mattress, give them $20. No, but seriously, I mean, really, I mean, I'm open. I mean, chime in, comment. I mean, please, you know, let's come up with something. Some solutions.
We can't sit here and talk about the problems if we don't come up with solutions.
Exactly.
But I do want to say that the rallying is great, the marching is great,
right.
The vigils are great. But we have to do more. Like, we have to lean on our congressmen. We have to lean on our local officials. We have to make sure that we're doing something and being proactive versus being reactive. Because what happens when you're reactive is these things keep happening. Because what they're going to say is, okay, well, they're on the Alton Sterling boat today, but they'll forget about Alton. Just like, you know, and don't get me wrong, though we haven't forgotten about Trayvon and Eric and Freddie Gray, we haven't forgotten about them, but it's not like when it first happens, that's all we're talking about.
Right.
And so
exactly.
they rely on that.
But it's kind of like we did forget when we don't have action. So get with your local representatives, like Mark said, and figure out when your lobby days are at your local capitals. I mean, it's really not difficult. I mean, you, as a citizen and taxpaying citizen of these states and these cities, you have the power to go and demand attention. Take your legal recourses. Encourage whoever your representatives are to stand for you and put things on the books that speak to you and your community. Get your friends, your fraternity brothers. This is
your churches.
Your churches.
Those are huge pieces and portions of the society that can make a deep impact on what's going on. And if your pastor isn't talking about what's going on in the Black Lives Matter movement, what's going on in this society, then I suggest that you move churches. Ladies, gentlemen, because we want to make sure we're not being too binary here.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that we are getting across that we're not angry about the wrong things. We have to be angry about the right things, the things that matter. And black lives do matter. Black matters matter. Black deaths matter. Black everything matters. And we do know that all lives matter. There's not one child or person that we want to see harmed, hurt, or anything like that. But however, the focus is on Black Lives Matter because in the last 5 to 6 years, we've been seeing this become a trend. And don't get us wrong.
More than a trend, an epidemic.
Yes, pandemic, if you will.
This is a pandemic. This is a pandemic. This is not a situation. You know, and here's the thing, nobody's going to make a big deal about it if we don't.
Right. But we want to make sure that we're not just giving you something to entertain you, but we also want to make sure that we educate and edify.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think Mark said it perfectly. Thank you so much. And please continue to support us. And we want to also do what we can to support you. If there's anything that we can do, please leave comments. Please email us. We're on Facebook. I'm Antoine Dandridge. And
I'm Mark Lipsey, MarQueslipsey. We're willing to come speak. We're willing to do whatever it is that you need for us to do.
Thank you so much. And take care of yourselves and take care of each other.
Signing off at Bashful TV, it's
Antoine and Mark. We sign out.